In today's episode, I speak to Francesca, founder of FreedomeE, a business driven by unique marketing and sales systems, which is supported by an ethical marketplace for responsible companies in the fashion, beauty, and lifestyle industry. She believes in creating positive impact while producing, communicating, promoting, and consuming any products or services that are made with passion, transparency, and authenticity. Hi, hello, and welcome to Christ in Fashion. So today's guest, we have Francesca, who runs an amazing organization called FreedomeE. Her focus around sustainability, the impacts of fashion, and really what she feels and is called to be doing at such a time as this. So welcome, Francesca. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me, Faith. It's a blast to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I came from Brazil.
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you.
Happy.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming. So tell us about yourself and tell the audience, who is Francesca?
Who is Francesca? Well, Francesca, I am Brazilian, Italian, and I am a woman of faith. And I started working in fashion 30 years ago with Prada, Gucci, Armani, Versace in Italy. I moved back to Brazil to have my own shoe company. I distribute my shoes all over the globe, and then I understood that the fashion system is broke because it is without Jesus. So I decided to launch FreedomeE. FreedomeE is all about knowing the truth, and the truth will set you free when you know where you're putting your money at when you're consuming. So this is FreedomeE.
Wow. And how long has FreedomeE been running for?
So I had a breakdown in India 6 years ago while I was following production for embroidery shoes. And then the same girl that was doing the high-end brands, they're producing the street market brands. And then I thought, you know what, I cannot cope with them because they are earning $2.30 a day. They were given in matrimony and they had to pay their dowry. And I thought, this is not what I want to cope with. And I cannot make my friends, my family, the consumers cope with this, because when you're buying something that you don't know the origin, I mean, you're coping without knowing, and this is a lie. So I started six years ago by understanding the need of the change in the fashion industry. After traveling around the globe, going to factories in Brazil, in El Salvador, in Portugal, in UK, in United States, in South Africa, in Asia, in India, in China, and understanding how people were feeling, if they're earning money, if they're happy, if they are being agreed with the values. And then I understood that it's not about the color of your skin, it's not about if you're a man or a woman, or if you're gay, or if you're Christian, if you're not. It's about lack of values, and the only way that we are going to have values is through Christ. It's not for religion. Jesus is not a religion. Jesus, it's truth. I don't know how to explain that in English, but Jesus it's everything. Jesus is the love which is inside of us. Jesus is creation. So I started 6 years ago, and I put my idea into practice when I decided to invest in technology.
Okay.
So FreedomeE, it's a marketplace platform that unites talents around the globe, commercial talents, salesperson, influencers,
Okay.
factories, designers, brands working together, and through conscious consumption, through truth promotion, through transparent communication and responsible production.
Okay. So FreedomeE is a business, and it operates as a business.
Yeah.
And brands and companies can join through membership. So how do you navigate your faith through running a company and growing a company?
You know, fashion and beauty industry, it's the most ego industry in the world.
Absolutely.
Oh, and when I decided to do my pizza share, because when you sell through FreedomeE, when the brand sells to FreedomeE, the commercial area, the influencer area, the promotion, the marketing earns when we sell. But when I decided to do the pizza cut and to be extremely transparent, I had to understand the need, because it's competition everywhere. It's all about me, it's not about me. And the thing is, you're not what you're wearing, you're not what the makeup that you're putting, you're not the money that you have in your account. I mean, you can be a positive impact in this world if you work through love, and love is Jesus, or you can have a negative impact to the world if you decide to work with fear. So when I put all these things together to the pizza, I had to see, you know what, I have to make people work together, not against each other.
Okay.
So it is a community that stays together on sales when it sells through a pizza split of payment.
Okay. So you use pizza as an example in relation to the format of how FreedomeE works.
Yeah.
So people can register on, so like a women's wear brand has to meet your sustainability guidelines in order to become a member of FreedomeE.
Yeah.
And through their membership, it's a community of organizations, and you use that pizza example of how they make money from being a member of FreedomeE.
Yeah, so first of all, we have 5 I's for sustainability. So everybody is sustainable when you have love in your heart. But to be sustainable, you have to understand the vision of sustainability. So going around the world, I decided to divide sustainability in 5 I's, in 5 principles, let's say like this. So the first of all is cultural and social. So the needs that you have here, Faith, living in London, as inside of a social and a cultural way, it's completely different the way that I need in Brazil, or that she needs in Jamaica, or that she needs in South Africa or in China. So this is very important. And then the other aspect is the environmental aspect. And it's not about only using organic cotton or using a vegan leather. That it doesn't exist, a vegan leather, by the way. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, because a vegan leather, it's a plastic leather, or it can be a pineapple leather. See, so it's not a vegan.
Okay.
In the platform, you understand better.
Okay.
And then we have the economic part, which is the one that I want to empower women through the economic part, because when you have your life in your hand, you can make decisions better. And we have to invest in women, so we'll be able to invest in the future of our children. So women, for me, it's the heart of a family. So this is extremely important. And then we have the tech part. We have to give, for me, technology, it's technology in production, it's technology in communication, it's technology in the way we teach people, we lead people to good examples. FreedomeE worked with Made for Better. It doesn't matter if it's made in Brazil, made in China, made in London, made in whatever it is, but it is made for better. We want a better society, we want a better world, we want to resolve problems. And then the last one is quality and certificates, which are important just to know what level you are, what certificates you have, even though certificates for me that I travel around the globe do not mean anything. Since we have, unfortunately, corruptive politicians around the globe with corruptive entrepreneurs around the globe, and it all works together. This is what we are using the transparent communication to
address,
minimize this.
So, because I think for me, sustainability has become such a buzzword. I mean, everybody is talking about sustainability, climate agenda is very talked about at the moment. So how do you feel about sustainability with running FreedomeE, and what have you found is actually working? And do you find, everyone is just using sustainability because
it's in
it's
fashion.
a trend?
It's
yeah.
in fashion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sustainability, I don't like the word sustainability because it becomes like naive, something like blasé. But sustainability for me, it's the only word that we can use to put everybody together. Now, it's like love. So you understand sustainability, love, hate, you see, it's something that unites people. But for me, sustainability, it's positive impact.
Okay.
So we're putting together beauty, fashion, and design brands and lifestyles brands to show what they're doing good.
Okay.
What they're doing to impact better our society, what they're doing to impact better our planet, and how we're going to make together change the ecosystem that it's not working. See?
Okay.
And so it's impact, it's positive impact.
Okay.
This is for me what sustainability is all about. And yes, it became like
everybody's a go-to word for every big mega brand to use and say, yeah, we're sustainable too.
Yeah, they're
And they're not
sustainable
even
their own
doing
pocket.
anything. Yeah.
I always say that. What do you sustain? Your own pocket.
Yeah.
You're super sustainable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Francesca, you've spoken about the impacts of fashion and sustainability and FreedomeE, and you've also mentioned the element of the business and beauty and influencers. So I would say, as you've also clearly said, the business of fashion can be very kind of self-promotion and really about promoting oneself. And even with social media today, it's all about pushing your own brand, pushing your own identity even. So how do you navigate that, one with, working with beauty influencers and brands, but balancing that in relation to what you know and feel God says about beauty and how we should present ourselves, and how do you navigate that?
So, well, first of all, I think everything that is beautiful came from God. I think you see the trees, you see the birds, you see the nature, everything is so perfect. You see you're so perfect. We are so perfect.
Absolutely.
So I think that the beauty comes from God. The thing is, we don't know how to use the beauty. I mean, if you have here a beautiful person, and then you have not so beautiful person for your standard, and this beautiful person, she start being mean to you, you're gonna go to
the other person.
But if you can combine both of them, so fashion could be this one. So beauty, it's taking care of yourself. If I take care of myself, the way I brush my hair, the way I put a makeup, the way I present, it's super fantastic because it empowers you.
Absolutely.
But this could not be the most important thing. So yeah, influence is all about them. But the thing is, they're competing so much. So if they don't have real content, if they don't speak from their heart, if we're not connected with the truth, they will disappear like this. You can be beautiful today, and tomorrow you can be terrible.
Yeah.
For the standards
absolutely.
of the world. But for our standard, the beauty comes from inside. The outside helps to communicate. I think this is a gift that God gives to people to communicate. Some has the gift of communication, the other of creation, the other of designing, the other of selling, the other of, doing technology, the other filming like she's doing. So I think we have to work well with the talent that God gave to us using love. We're not better than anyone, but we're not worse than anyone. Having this balance, and influencers for us, they're super important because they are our voices. But for them to be our voices, they have to be prepared. They have to know what positive impact it is in the 5 pillars, the 5 principles of FreedomeE. And by knowing this, they will know exactly what to say. And another thing, if I were an influencer, I will never connect my name with a brand that I have no idea of its values.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then when you know the values of a brand and it goes through your values, you can grow. You know, I mean, like having business partners and then doing one brand today, doing another brand tomorrow, and not growing with them. It's like having new husbands. It's terrible. You know, it's starting all over again. I think it's
Every
so.
week.
Yeah, I think it's so terrible, right?
Yeah. And you actually had an event in the House of Commons in 2019. So how did that go, and how did that come about?
Yeah, for me that was like a mark in my life, because I did it there on the purpose of saying somewhere in the world I will start doing what is right. And then I decided to be in the House of the Lords. That for me, being Brazilian was super nice. You know, it was like a dream, like getting inside of the house of the king.
Yeah.
The
Buckingham
queen.
Palace.
Yeah, for me this was like wow. But I did it in the way of materializing the right goal in fashion, the right goal in consuming and producing. Because FreedomeE, it's not only fashion. FreedomeE, it's about everything that you consume and you produce and you promote.
Okay.
So I want to bring the truth. No manipulation. Just show me who you are. And then if I like who you are, I will buy your service and your good.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I thought was amazing, you know, when we messaged and you was like, oh, you know, can you make it down before so we can pray?
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely,
Yeah.
so we can pray before the event. And so tell me a little bit about how prayer is within your business and how you navigate that within the marketplace and your faith within the marketplace.
Well,
in
first of
fashion.
all, I always talk about my faith to everybody. If it wasn't for Jesus, I will never be here. So since I was born, my life was like pancada, you know, like, oh my God, my +1. And it doesn't mean that we won't have difficulties.
Absolutely.
Because we were born in a good family. It doesn't mean, you know, because, and for me, I met Jesus when my brother was killed more than 20 years ago, and God saved me. God saved me from myself. And I think that no one can live without God, and God is love, and God is good all the time. And I hate when people say, no, God did this to you. No, bad things God will never do to you. Bad things has happened into your life because you don't know the Word of God. You don't read the Bible. You don't pray. Or you're looking for pastors. You're not looking for God. Pastor can guide you, but pastors are not God. So for me, we have to have a spiritual life every day. So I wake up in the morning, I read my Bible, I pray. I use my authority as a Christian, because God made us mini gods. I am a mini God. You're a mini God. Everything we say happens. And if we're living a bad life, it's because we're saying wrongly. And if we're saying wrongly, it's because we're not comparing our thoughts to what God thinks about us.
Absolutely.
So I think, and I think we as Christians, we have to give a better word about the church, because the church, it's missing something. I don't know, it's missing, because God is not the church. Our hearts are the church. So for me, God is everything. So if I put love in my work, the work will grow. If I put fear in my work, the work won't grow.
And so what would you say to your younger self, or any young women wanting to get into fashion who loves God? What advice would you give?
I think that I pray every day that the fashion and the beauty world and the marketing world will come to sons and daughters of God. I mean, all the communication now, it is giving fear. You see this coronavirus, everybody's talking this. You know, we have, yes, it is a problem, we have to resolve it, but we have other problems as well that we need to resolve. And we have to have faith. We have to do our part, we have to wash our hands, you know, we have to not kiss everybody, we have to, you know, But we have to have faith. So what I will say to young people is, without God, we are nothing. Without love, we're nothing. So God created us through the spirit of creation. And you create good things if you have love. You create bad things if you have fear. So for everyone, in fashion, in beauty, in everything, if you don't have God, I mean, and God is not a religion. God is not a religion. And FreedomeE showed me this, traveling around the globe, seeing different religions, and understanding the people needs. You say, you know what? I have to speak the truth. So FreedomeE is speaking the truth. So young woman, if you don't have God, girl, your life will be difficult.
Because without God,
we're nothing. That's
it's difficult enough. And I think even for me, kind of growing up and being somebody that was very much into fashion and had I went through phases of being quite eclectic, being a bit tomboyish, being a bit grungy. I went through phases of all sorts of different styles, and really fashion for me has always, being younger, fashion for me was always something where I could express how I was feeling, and kind of reaching through maturity, God really being able to use that to reach people within my sphere, and using that as a tool to connect to people and then bringing them in. Do you feel you're fulfilling God's purpose through FreedomeE?
Yes. FreedomeE is telling the truth, and FreedomeE is to tell the truth of every services and goods that you're buying. It's just to show the origin, and not only the origin who made, but the values of who made it. Yeah, and that's for sure. And FreedomeE is to giving opportunity for people to put their talents. So if you're selling, you can come to FreedomeE and sell through us. If you're promoting, you can come to FreedomeE and promote with us. If you're creating and producing, you can come to FreedomeE and produce and create through us. So this is what is FreedomeE.
And what does a typical workday look like for you?
The typical, well, I woke up in the morning, I pray, and then I ask God for guidance, and then I call the girls that work with me, and then organize the platform, and then I look for more clients, because FreedomeE, it's about a community of people working together to make things better. And then I talk with Brazil, I talk with El Salvador, I talk United States, I talk with here, I talk in South Africa. So my life is, but I'm happy. I love people, and I want to see people together. I remember when I was young that I saw the publicity of United Colors of Benetton. All those different people working together that really inspired me, that really give hope to my life, you know. And I love people, I love different cultures, and so FreedomeE, it's saying we are all the same, but we can do things better if we work through truth. This is FreedomeE.
What challenges have you faced, and how have you overcome them?
Well, the challenge is, so marketing, it's manipulation, and we're using truth marketing. So this is my biggest challenge. So I say, why don't you open yourself and tell how do you produce, how do you create, and I see that big factories, that big brands, they don't want to show this. And when we start talking about sustainability, so show me what you're doing, what are your impacts, and they don't want to show. So what I face is fear from people or brands being themselves, because fashion was always a pretending. So this
hiding behind the facade of what they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Whether it be a manufacturer's, oh yes, we're working with Gucci, we're working with H&M, but behind the closed doors, it's poor working conditions and everything else.
Yeah, the same thing, not only in the factories, but the same thing with influencers. They say, okay, I love your work, I love what you're doing, but if I start saying the truth, if I start saying what sustainability is real, it's all about, I will lose my contracts. Or the same thing that happened to me with PRs that I hired, and they did not give 100% of themselves because they were afraid to lose other clients. And I understand them because we're in the middle of disruption.
Yeah, and that shift.
Yeah. So the problem is it's to people to tell their truth without being fear of being, you do this, you did that. Oh, she's not that good. Oh, she has a problem. Oh, so she's similar to me. Well, everybody in around the world, we have our problems that we have to face it, and we are not perfect. Mm-hmm. So the problem that I face is people being afraid to show that they're not perfect. Because fashion built up this, that you have to be perfect, you have to be the most beautiful one, the richest one, the most popular one, and we're not. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be someone in the world that is better than you. Mm-hmm. And that's great, because it shows you that you have space to grow, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you achieve everything. This is boring. Right?
So would you say the reason why you continue to persist in getting these brands to become more transparent, because they will eventually change, and you're believing in the vision of what you're trying to do, and that's why you're continuing to challenge these companies in order to be more transparent with what they're doing, with their services, so people can see what impact their business is having on the wider community or society?
Yeah, the thing is, with the predatory competition with Alibaba and another softwares, the industry is selling directly to the consumer, and the consumer is buying online. So everybody is trying to sell to the same consumer, but having different starting points of values. And this is what we have to change. And so, yeah, the challenge is, I won't give up on people, and if factories, if brands, they don't start to be transparent, they're going to close their doors down. Mm-hmm. So if God gave them talent, I have to help them. So this is my call.
Okay.
Guide them to do better. Guide the consumer to buy better, guide the promoter to promote better, and guide the brands and the industry to produce better.
Okay. Well, this is such an amazing work that you're doing, and it's such a crucial part of the industry and our society. Thank you so much for coming. It has been such a pleasure to have you on, and we look forward to having you again in season 2. Hopefully we'll have a season 2. So thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. We have found the power of great examples. By doing our part and supporting others, we should stand as great examples and can create a new digital ecosystem that promotes a conscious and profitable economy for all those involved.